So we just got a live stream of Genshin Impact 6.7 yesterday. 6.7, alright, my fault. But we got 4 characters coming up in the banners. The new Sandrone, Columbina, Raiden Shogun, and Citlali. And with the Not Crime meta coming up to an end, and the new Sandrone and Stellar Reactions meta coming up, it can be a bit confusing to choose which characters are going to be the right pick for your account. In this video, I'll be listing the pros and cons for each character, and their future value, and then finally I'll be telling you guys which wishing path you should go for depending on your account situation. Before we continue that though, if you're trying to get any of these characters and you don't have enough Primo Gems saved, you should head to U7Buy, your ultimate gaming hub for safe, fast, and cheap in-game top-ups. From Genshin Impact to all of your favorite titles. The Genshin Impact's direct top-up page lets you recharge instantly. Check this out for example. The 8,080 Genesis Crystals price on the official store is going to be $99.99, which is so expensive. But on U7Buy, you notice that the storefront displays similar prices to the in-game store. But don't worry, the magic all happens in checkout. Once you click the Buy Now button, your total instantly drops to the actual discounted prices. And it can drop even more if you use my code Camilo. How to buy is also super easy. Just type your user ID, select your server and region, pay securely, and your account is going to be loaded instantly. It's that easy. Check the link in the description or the pinned comment to visit U7Buy, and remember to use my code Camilo for an extra 5% discount. Alright, so starting off with Sandrone, the new character. She's mainly just going to be a Stellar Conduct Cryo main DPS, and she's going to be the first character out of like the whole Snisnea Stellar meta, and she's going to bring a lot of new things. For her pros, the first pro about her is that her damage is going to be around A tier damage in my opinion, at least for now. Her damage potential is not S tier for sure at this point in the game right now, but it's definitely just for the lack of support. Her damage right now I would say is around the level of like Lohan, maybe a little more, maybe like Varka level damage, stuff like that. But she definitely deals less damage than like the average Lunar main DPS. The second pro about her is that she has a huge future potential still ahead of her. As I said before, her damage is going to be A tier damage, but for now it's just simply for the lack of supports. She's the first character that comes out of this like type of meta, and mainly her teams are going to be constructed of just like older units. Some of them did get buffs, but in general she doesn't have any like real dedicated supports that can actually directly buff her and stuff like that, which you will definitely get in the future when we see more like stellar supports and stuff like that come out. Maybe new teammates, new enablers, everything. So she definitely has a huge potential in front of her, and a lot of people can see that as a pro. You get her right now and you're almost guaranteed that she's going to be upgraded. The last thing about her is that in general she's kind of easy to build. You just need attack and crit in general. You don't really need many things except for the weapons. She doesn't have many like actual free plays yet because we don't have like the Snisnea craftables, but in general she's a pretty easy character to build. And even at C0 she's going to be very comparable to her higher constellations, which is I guess good because you don't need to worry about getting her constellations for her to be decent. Now moving on to her cons, it's pretty much the same thing. You can view it as a pro or as a con. The first con is that she requires future units. So right now unfortunately you're locked from like that damage ceiling, and you're gonna have to wait for her like future upgrades and also wish for them and get them for you to finally maximize her damage. Now when you do, she's probably gonna be one of the best or the best DPSs in the game at that point in time, but you have to wait and see, which is a con for a lot of people. So right now when you get her, you won't be able to use her for her full potential yet. The second con about her in general is, as I said before, just bad constellations. Her constellations are going to be very little damage increases. They're just very mid, honestly below mid even. It's just way below the average for like your average current main DPS constellations. This might change with her future teams a little bit, but in general her constellations are not going to be the greatest. So if you want to like vertically invest in her, the options are not going to be that good. Now moving on to the second character we have in this patch, which is going to be Columbina. We've had Columbina for a while now, and she's just going to be a Hydro support slash enabler slash buffer for lunar reactions. For her pros, it's basically these. She's going to enable lunar reactions. So by you just having her on the team, you can unlock lunar reactions and build teams around that, which is going to be pretty good, and it can unlock a lot of like different teams, even without any Not Cry units. The second pro about her is that she buffs lunar reactions. She definitely provides great buffs to any lunar reactions that happen in the team, which is obviously going to be pretty valuable for a lot of them, especially for like Not Cry base main DPSs. The third pro about her is that she's going to be actually key support for a lot of current top teams. Without her, a lot of top teams won't be top teams in the game right now, mainly with the lunar main DPSs. So for you to maximize their full potential, obviously Columbina is going to be a necessary thing. Last pro about her is that you can use her to build infinite wheelchair comps. So as long as you get Inefa or Lauma for example, and then you pair them with Columbina, you can basically use any other two characters in this team and Columbina and the other characters are just gonna carry them. And the other characters are just gonna be like on-field drivers. That's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna revive a lot of like older units and stuff like that. So for example, if you have a very old main DPS and you just want to play them, but you also want to deal decent damage, you can put them in a Columbina and Inefa wheelchair comp and they're gonna do fine. Now for her cons, the first con is that for like 90% of her teams, she's gonna require a second 5-star character at least for her to like even make sense to be in that team. Most of her teams are gonna be top tier teams, yes, but in general, they're gonna have like 3 or 4 5-star units. And without other 5-star units, her value is gonna drop significantly for sure. Like I just cannot think of a full 4-star team with Columbina that's gonna deal like respectable damage on their own. So yeah, her teams in general are gonna be pretty expensive, and if you don't already have good units that can be played with her, then she's definitely gonna be a waste. And like outside of the lunar reactions and stuff like that, I definitely wouldn't recommend her if you don't already have like either a main DPS, like a lunar main DPS, or a character like Inefa or Lama, where you can just build a wheelchair comp with Columbina. If you don't have any other lunar 5-star units, then Columbina is definitely going to be super unnecessary for your account. The second kind of con about her is that the lunar meta is going to be just ending right now. Obviously, we're at the end of it right now. This is the last batch. We're starting with the new Snezhnaya meta, the stellar meta, and stuff like that. And from the data we have from the previous few patches in the game, it won't be crazy to assume that the lunar meta will be power crept at least a little bit in the upcoming months. And with not many actual like new supports coming out and stuff like that, if you're not already into the lunar meta and you don't already have Columbina, it's probably a good idea to just skip it altogether and build on the new Snezhnaya meta. So the con is, if you don't already have like lunar characters, then Columbina is a clear skip. Now the third character we have in this patch is going to be Citlali. Citlali is a simple just cryo shielder and buffer. We've had her for a while now. For her pros, she's going to give you pyro and hydro resistance shred, which is going to be pretty good, pretty valuable for melt teams obviously, or even freeze teams. So that's going to be pretty good. She's going to provide you with a shield that's also going to be pretty good, so you can use her as both a buffer and sustain at the same time. And she's also going to be pretty easy to build in general. You don't really have to build much on Citlali. You basically just need elemental mastery and that's it. Now for her cons, there's not really many for her use case specifically, but general cons is that her shield is going to be kind of weak. It's like on the weaker side in general, so you cannot just be like fully careless with it. It's going to do the job as long as you don't get like hit every single hit and dodge a little bit, but in general it's not going to be like an invincible shield like Zhongli's or something like that, which is kind of fair. The second con about her, which is like the biggest con in my opinion, is that she doesn't have any cryo resistance shred or cryo buffing in general, which makes her not the best like support in general for cryo main DPSs, which is unfortunate because we're stepping in the cryo region, so she's not going to work with like many upcoming characters. She's mainly just going to be like a pyro main DPS sort of like support. And finally, for the last character we have on this patch, which is going to be Raiden Shogun, there's not really much to say about Raiden, honestly. We just had her for a very long time right now. She's sort of like a main DPS, sub DPS sort of thing, slash support maybe. For her pros, I guess she can be used as all of those. So she can be used as main DPS, sub DPS, a hyper bloom driver, on field, just cryo applicators, just whatever. She can also be a great universal battery for her whole team and recharge your energy, and that's going to be pretty good. For her cons, unfortunately, I could just be listing a lot of her cons right now, but I just say it in one word: she's just simply outdated. She was great at some point in the game, but right now she still does her job pretty fine. It's not there's like clear problems with her, but she's just never like the best option to use in literally any team. So if you don't just like her and you just want to pull her because you like her, then she's just a clear skip. Unfortunately, she also didn't get any buffs recently with the recently buffed characters, which is a big bummer in my opinion. So yeah, for her cons, there's not really any clear ones really, except that you just don't need her. And now finally moving on to the Wishin roadmap for this patch. I think you're gonna have to do something like this. If you need a future-proof main DPS, or if you need just a main DPS in general that you're ready to build around, Sandrone is gonna be the clear option. As I said before, she's the first character to come out of the Snezhnaya meta. She's a very loved character, so obviously, hopefully, you're gonna treat her well in terms of like damage and stuff like that. And her damage is already like decent. You can clear with it. Most stuff, she deals pretty decent like A tier damage. She's not in like the top 4 or top 3 main DPSs for sure, but her damage is going to be pretty good. And with upcoming supports, the whole upcoming enemies and meta that's going to be shaped around her, she's definitely the right main DPS to pick at this point right now and just build around them, save up for their future supports, and hopefully you're going to have a top tier team. So Sandrone is the clear option to go for a main DPS in this patch. Now, if you already have lunar supports or sub DPSs, then Columbina is definitely a great option. So for example, let's say you have Zibai, I would still definitely recommend getting Columbina because like the Zibai team is definitely still going to be a great great team for a long time ahead. Maybe not the best team anymore, probably in a few months, but I don't think she's gonna be like power crept to the point where she's not usable or anything like that. So if you want to just get that upgrade to your lunar main DPSs right now that you already have, that you already built, then getting Columbina is definitely gonna be a great option. I'd even say if you already have lunar main DPSs, then getting Columbina is probably a better option than getting Sandrone at this point right now. Sandrone is probably gonna rerun, so might as well just upgrade your current teams and unlock their full potential. But if you don't already have any lunar characters, or you don't have to build, you just simply didn't invest in the previous meta, I think Columbina is a clear skip right now. Why get her if you can just wait for the new thing? So just get Sandrone and then build around her instead of getting Columbina and then waiting for her DPSs and stuff like that. So yeah, I think Columbina is a great option if you need to upgrade your already existing lunar meta. Other than that, just skip. Citlali can be a great option too, mainly if you have just a pyro carry in general. Just any pyro main DPSs, you're probably playing them with Milt, then Citlali can be a decent upgrade. So just Moika mainly, or Lakino, whatever. Any Milt DPSs, Citlali is going to be a great option for. And unfortunately, Raiden Shogun is just going to be a skip. But yeah, tell me what characters you guys are going to be getting in the comments. If you guys leave a like, subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next video. Peace.